Hi, welcome to Time Saver Meals. I'm Rachel. My co-cook tonight is Jordan. And we are making rigatoni with leeks and Brussels sprouts. And we're going to show you how to do this tonight. It's extremely tasty. This meal comes from Jordan's 17th birthday at her grandmother's house, my mother-in-law's house. So like I said in one of my other episodes, I'm lucky enough to have two mother-in-laws. And this is my husband's stepmom, Sylvia. Sylvia makes great meals, and this is her birthday dinner for Jordan that she made. And leeks, if you don't know what they are these. They belong to the onion and chive and shallot family. So of course I love them, but I didn't know that I loved them. I actually had to ask her, what are leeks? I didn't even know when I ate Jordan's birthday meal that it had leeks in there. And I said, what did they taste like? And she said, a mild onion. So I had to look up how to wash these and how to cut these, and hopefully I'm not gonna make a mistake. But we're gonna go ahead and stop the video and put in the rigatoni. I already got the water going. The recipe calls for 12 ounces. We're doing 16 because we're a family of 5. And then we're gonna start cutting the Brussels sprouts, and then we'll turn the video back on to show you how to make how to cut leeks. All right, see you in a few. All right, so we're back. We got the rigatoni going, and now we're going to cut the leeks. So as you can see, there's this root part of the leeks, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut that off and slice this one off as well, and put them in our bag that we're using as a garbage bag. And then we're going to cut this part, this shoots off, and we don't use these either. So it seems like there's a lot of waste, and maybe if I was a good cook, or a good cook with leeks, I would know what to do with them, this part. But from my understanding, you just toss this into the trash. So we're gonna work with these. Now, when I was reading up on them, I read that these get dirt in between the rings. So we're gonna cut these, and then we're gonna put them in water to wash them. But you cut them first. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Now, if you were gonna slice them, you can cut them into just rings, or you can cut them into halves. And because the rigatoni noodles are so big, I'm gonna cut these into half and then slice them. You see, they just look like a green onion, but with lines. So we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna slice. And then we're gonna put all this into the water. And as you can see, I either have a really dull knife or they're just a little bit thicker to cut into. It's not like spaghetti squash, which is really tough for me to cut into. So I just think they're a denser vegetable to cut in, just so you know, or it's my mat grabbing it. What's your favorite thing you like about this meal, Jordan?
I like the Brussels sprouts.
You like the Brussels sprouts? You like the taste of it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like that it has no meat?
That too.
Great. All right. What do you remember the tasting like? Can you describe that so everyone knows? You don't, you just remembered it was yummy.
Yeah.
Most of Sylvia's, we call her Mappa because there were lots of grandmas. So she's Mappa and Aaron's dad is Papa, but most of Mappa's meals are delicious. She's the one who taught me how to roast broccoli and cauliflower, and she's taught me a lot of other great things. For my wedding present, I asked if she would give me a recipe box with her recipes. And to this day, some of the recipes I use from it are ones that are requested. Like she gave me this hot artichoke dip that I bring to every Christmas Eve party my family has. And it's the one thing I'm supposed to bring every year. And it's like 4 ingredients, and it's super easy to make and super delicious. All right, so here we have ours. If you want a stronger onion taste, you can do more. But you just see we just put them in, And I'm gonna wash this off because I can feel a little bit of grit and grime. And you just stir them in like that, and then we'll scoop them out and put them on the cutting board. Just as soon as I clean them up. All right. So the dirt settles to the bottom, and I can already see that it's doing that already. So that's why you don't want to like pour it out, because then you'll just pour the dirt on it. So here's the super way, easy way. Voila! They do stick to your hands a little bit. Okay. It was funny because I wouldn't have guessed they were that dirty by just looking at it. Oh, thanks, Jordan, for getting the rigatoni. And I am pretty sure you guys cannot see this because we are not the Food Network and do not have our cameraman to zoom in on this. So in a minute, I will try and turn the bowl just a little bit so you can see it with hopefully not spilling it. What are you gonna do right now, babe?
Add salt to the pasta.
Why are you adding salt to the pasta?
Because it tastes good.
Because you're my salt baby? All right. There's still some small ones floating in it, but hopefully you can see the dark dirt at the bottom of it and see just how dirty they were. They didn't look that dirty, did they?
No.
So there you go. So we're gonna finish chopping up the Brussels sprouts and we will be back. All right, we are back. We've cut the Brussels sprouts and we've cut the leeks. We're gonna go ahead and get started, and we're gonna cook these with some garlic, some lemon juice, and I don't have white wine. We don't drink wine, so I use white cooking wine a lot, and it tastes just fine. Actually, it's still, I think it tastes just as good, but you can use white wine as well. We're gonna go ahead and get started by adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the pan, and we're gonna cook the Brussels sprouts, the leeks, and the garlic. Now you can mince 4 cloves of garlic, or you can do 4 spoonfuls, 4 teaspoons approximately of already chopped and minced garlic, which I prefer because it's so much easier to do. And we're gonna slide this to the bigger burner. Make sure it's on. I'm not just pumping gas like I thought I was. Yep, there we go. All right, we're gonna let the oil heat up. The reason you let the oil heat up, because if you put this in with the oil not hot, all it does is soak the oil into the Brussels sprouts and the leeks. That's why you wanna wait until it's hot so it starts cooking it instead of just soaking into it. And I'm gonna get a spoon to measure out my garlic, and then we'll dump everything in. I have these little tiny teaspoons that I like to use, like literally for tea, not like cooking teaspoons. All right, and I'm just gonna kind of swirl the oil around my pan. The recipe that Sylvia sent us calls for lemon zest, but my husband isn't a huge fan of lemon zest, so we just use lemon, and I didn't buy lemons, so we're just gonna use the lemon juice we have. All right, we're gonna add the leeks and the Brussels sprouts. And you can hear it sizzling, so you know we waited until the oil was hot. Go ahead, baby girl.
Oh my gosh, you can buy.
And while she's adding that, I'm gonna get the garlic and add. As you can see, I just look and say, yep, that's enough. If you're not a big fan of garlic, you don't have to do that much, but because this doesn't have a sauce, you'll need to season it well with salt or something else. All right, maybe more leeks instead. And I'm gonna go ahead and stir this. We're gonna cook this until it's golden brown, and then we'll add the cooking wine. We need 3/4 cup. If you can measure that out, that would be great. I'm gonna sneak over here, move these out of the way. And I'm just gonna use our pasta spoon to stir this and get this going. It also needs salt and pepper. Jordan, do you want pepper in it?
No.
Because it's her night to cook, I let her make a few changes because she hates, loathes, despises pepper. I'm not gonna add it. It's also something that can be added at the end and be just fine. So we're gonna season this liberally with some salt. And we're gonna continue to cook this until it's golden brown. It's gonna take probably anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes. So we're gonna stop the camera so we don't just sit here on camera and not say anything or ramble. And then we'll be back. Okay, we've cooked the Brussels sprouts to what they should look like, and they're a little bit al dente, for a better word. They're a little bit tender, but not all the way cooked through because, and I forgot to tell Jordan to reserve pasta water. So I just made some water with just a tiny hint of better than chicken bouillon. We're going to add that to help make the pasta sauce, and we're going to use the white wine. And we're going to put this in and add the noodles, and then add, Parmesan, and we're going to cook it all at once. If you are a person who likes your noodles very al dente, cook them a little bit less time. We're just going to put this in and allow the noodles to absorb some of the liquid and cook down. So we're going to add the noodles. Ouch, and I just burnt my finger by touching the metal part of this. Spoon. Then we're going to add lemon. You don't want to add so much lemon that all you taste is the lemon, but you want to add enough that it gives it a fresh little zing to it. Then we're going to add the cooking wine or wine, white wine, if you prefer. And I'm just going to stir this because you want everything to be coated in this. If you're one of those handy people who can just take your pan up and toss the noodles, that would work too. But I tend to make a big mess and it's never pretty. I mean, as it is, I lose stuff already with just using a spoon. So I'm using a slotted spoon so that the liquid doesn't get pulled up, but I'm trying to make sure my liquid coats all my noodles and everything in the pan. Then I have my heat on high or medium high because I have such a big pan, it's more medium high. And then we're gonna add, as you can see, Jordan, can you pull the camera a little bit closer? You can see how much liquid we have. That is not how much we're going to have at the end. We're gonna let it reduce down. And during this whole process, it's only gonna be like 3 or 4 minutes. You just keep moving your noodles. So your noodles will cook a little bit. Depending on how much sauce will depend on how much it cooks. I haven't added the pasta sauce yet. And as you can see, it cooks quickly. We're already down to maybe half the liquid. I am gonna add just a little bit of the fake pasta water reserved, just to give it a little bit more flavor and just to let it cook. This is why you don't want to have your Brussels sprouts completely cooked either, because you don't want them to become soggy. And that honestly is probably just enough liquid. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the Parmesan and let that cook in with it. And I'm gonna cheat and take a bite of one of my noodles to see if I have enough lemon. Yeah, no more lemon. Very, very tasty. I do think it needs a hint of pepper, but that's my own personal feeling on that. And I honestly would add just a smidge more salt. So as you can see, though, we are down to the bare bottoms of sauce. The pan is almost no sauce. And we're going to stop this and go ahead and plate and put a little more Parmesan on it. All right. So this dish has a fresh, mild taste to it. If you are more into spices, you could add a little ground pepper, a little pinch of just pepper flakes, and it'll give it a little bit of that heat you might be looking for. Then we top it a little bit more with this, and voila, you have dinner. Bon appetit.